Dear Cancer, brace yourself for a profound transformation, one that is unlike anything you or anyone else has ever experienced. The divine is poised to bestow upon you the peace you have long sought. And it's crucial to understand that the events unfolding in your life are not meant to instill fear, but rather to awaken the great protector and nurturer within you. A profound shift is on the horizon, not from external forces, but from the destiny that is unfurling within you. You may sense a stirring, as if the tides of the past are receding, leaving behind a pristine shore just for you. This is no ordinary occurrence. It is a once-in-a-lifetime gift, uniquely crafted for you, the zodiac sign of family, of roots, and the first to understand the essence of shelter. In this message, we will explore a revelation that is exclusively yours, a truth that has never before been experienced by anyone else. We will delve into why the divine is waiting for you at the end of your journey, not to pass judgment, but to grant you the peace that you rightfully deserve. Finally, we will uncover a message from the sacred realm, a whisper from your ancestors that can only be heard in moments of stillness and quiet reflection. Let's embark on this journey together, beginning at the heart of your transformation, where your soul quietly trembles in anticipation of what is yet to be named. A disruption is approaching, but let me reassure you, it is not the end. Rather, it is a soul invitation. Life will introduce certain elements that may seem to shatter your stability, but their true purpose is to help you step out of the shell where you have hidden for so long. You stand at this pivotal threshold now. Cancer. Something is stirring within you, akin to an underground current. And while it may feel unsettling, it is essential to recognize that this is not punishment. Instead, it is an invitation to return to your own inner peace. Many Cancers, particularly those in their 50s to 70s, have endured long years filled with worry, sacrifice, and shouldering burdens. You have sacrificed your own desires, remained silent in your pain, and let go of so much, all in the name of preserving peace for those you love. Over time, you may have begun to feel left behind, as if you were the safe harbor while other ships sailed off to sea. In those moments, you might have wondered if anyone truly sees the weight you carry. But dear one, this silence is not the end. It is merely the stillness that precedes a sacred shift. Remember, an oyster cannot create a pearl without the irritation of a grain of sand. Similarly, in many faiths, it is believed that God uses trials to deepen our capacity for love. You were never meant to flee from burdens. Rather, you are called to transform them into strength, carrying a light of protection that only those who have sacrificed can possess. Let me share a poignant story. There was a 68-year-old Cancer mother who had dedicated her life to caring for her husband and children. When her children grew up and moved away, the house felt empty, and she lost her sense of purpose. In her loneliness, she began cooking childhood dishes, not for anyone in particular, but to recapture the warmth of memory. She started sharing these meals with her lonely neighbors. Gradually, her small kitchen became a community hub, a place where lonely souls found comfort. She never returned to her old life. Instead, she stepped into a new reality, becoming a mother and grandmother to her entire neighborhood. If her children had never left, she reflected, she would never have discovered how vast her heart's capacity for love truly was. You see, not all losses are truly losses. Some are the universe's way of halting your progress, forcing you to look deep inside your soul's home, where you may have forgotten your own voice, and it is there that the sacred begins to blossom. Cancer, you don't need to comprehend everything at this moment. The soul does not require logic. It simply needs you to pause and listen. Beneath the protective layers of time, you are still a beacon of love. You are the keeper of a primal belief that care can heal all wounds, that gentleness is a form of strength, and that home isn't a place, but a feeling. You have never been abandoned. You are simply being realigned, like your ruler, the moon, which always cycles through phases of waning and waxing, only to shine brightly once more. Those strange dreams, those unnamed emotions, and those moments when tears come unbidden, these are signs. They signify that your soul is breaking open its old shell, ready to take on a new shape. You are not alone in this. Take a deep breath and gently ask yourself, if this is not the end, then what could it be if you are still breathing, still feeling, and still capable of love? It means that this is not the conclusion. It is merely the beginning. In the next segment, you will come to understand why, for the first time in the history of the universe, a soul like yours is being called, not because you possess greater strength than others, but because only you, with your warm heart, can open the door that millions have overlooked. Write this down. I am ready to hear the truth of my heart. Sometimes, once you accept this truth, the door opens on its own, revealing the one you have been seeking, standing on the other side, waiting for you all along. The universe has chosen you, not because you're the strongest, but because your heart never gives up on loving. No one else in this vast universe walks a path quite like yours, and it is no coincidence that you are still standing after everything you have shouldered. You have experienced days where you felt invisible, moments where you gave without receiving, and years where you silently worried for others, not out of weakness, but because you wished to prevent pain in those you love. Your heart did not perish after the pain. It simply grew quiet, still beating gently, like a lullaby in the dark. You may not perceive it as miraculous, but in a world filled with wounds, a heart that continues to care is indeed a miracle. You do not need to conform to anyone else's expectations or achieve extraordinary feats. If you still cry when someone is hurting, if your heart stirs at the warmth of a family meal, then you already carry something sacred within you. You are the vessel through which the universe has entrusted its last warmth for this world. And that alone makes you the chosen one. Consider this: the moon, the planet of emotion and roots, is currently forming a harmonious aspect with Jupiter, the symbol of luck and expansion. This is a rare moment when the universe opens a doorway to peace. Something is about to manifest, not because you exerted more effort, but because you are worthy, not by the world's standards, but by the divine's. Allow me to share the story of a 72-year-old Cancer man who spent his life working hard to build a large house for his family. But in his old age, he lived alone in that house, as his children were far away. His days were monotonous, solitary meals and long, lonely nights. One night, he dreamt of his late mother, who told him, "You have built homes for others your whole life. Now it is time to build a home for your soul." Upon waking, he began writing down his mother's recipes, not for fame, but to help other children living far from home find the taste of family again. Eventually, his writings caught the attention of a visiting publisher, and months later, he became the author of a best-selling cookbook. Yet, he never spoke of success. He simply remarked, "When I cooked, I remembered that I still had a home, cancer. You don't need to start over from scratch. You only need to begin from a heart that is awakening. Don't attempt to rebuild your entire life at once. Start with a slow breath, a genuine tear, or a forgiving glance towards yourself. From there, a new world will begin to emerge, not from external circumstances, but from the place where your heart begins to bloom again. It's not merely that you survived. It's that you are the reason warmth still exists in this world. After everything you have endured, you still choose to love, to believe, and to avoid causing harm to others. This is why hope continues to thrive. Close your eyes for 5 seconds and whisper, "I'm still here." That alone is already a miracle. In the next part, you will learn why God is waiting for you at the end of this journey, not with trials, but with peace. This gift has been inscribed in your name long before your arrival on this earth, a blessing returning to you at precisely the right moment your soul once forgot. If this message resonates with you, gently write down, "I believe I was chosen." Sometimes, just a tender belief is enough to open the next door that has been waiting for you for a long time. God is waiting for you, not to judge, but to restore what you rightfully deserve. The peace that is about to flow into your life is not a random gift. It is an ancient promise, a sacred covenant made long before you came into this world. And now, when you feel depleted, that covenant is awakening not to reward you, but to restore you. You have chosen forgiveness when it would have been easier to harbor anger. You have held others close while silently dissolving in loneliness, and you have given even when your hands were nearly empty. The moments when you chose silence over revenge, over complaint, and over recognition, these acts did not go unnoticed. In that quiet space, an intricate system of the universe has been recording every vibration. In Buddhism, this is known as merit accumulation. In the Holy Bible, it is said that those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. Now, dear Cancer, this is your harvest season. Let me tell you about a Cancer woman whose story may resonate with you. For 30 years, she raised 4 children alone, working 3 shifts, eating cold leftovers, and hiding her tears behind a smile. No one knew the extent of her sacrifices, and she never asked for anything for herself. One evening, on her way home, she encountered an elderly man, shivering from the cold, begging for something to eat. Without hesitation, she gave him the only meal she had for her dinner. Days later, a stranger arrived at her home, revealing that the old man was the estranged father of a wealthy magnate. Deeply moved by her kindness, his family gifted her a small home and paid for her children's education. Yet, she humbly stated, "I didn't think I did anything great. I just didn't want him to go hungry." Do you see actions that may seem small, when performed with unconditional love, echo through time? The universe God, or whatever name you choose, misses nothing. No act of kindness is ever wasted. No love is ever silent. Everything you have ever given, even if forgotten by others, is now returning to you in unexpected ways. Stop apologizing for your sensitivity. You were not born to harden your heart. You are warm water, and that warmth is stronger than any armor. Your kindness is your soul's treasure. No one can take it from you. It is a sacred code that is now unlocking a series of events where you no longer need permission to live in peace. Instead, you are being invited in. If you can place your hand over your heart and whisper gently, "I deserve to receive all the peace my soul has ever given," you don't need proof or validation from others. You only need to acknowledge it sincerely. And that alone is enough to make the universe tremble. However, there is one essential thing to prepare for. You must be ready to receive, not just materially, but spiritually. Sometimes, peace arrives not through money, but through unexpected apologies, whispered forgiveness in dreams, or a nameless lightness upon waking in the middle of the night. Do not limit the form in which grace arrives. What is coming to you is far greater than you can imagine. In the final part of our journey, something will be revealed not in words, but in whispers from the other side of life. A soul from your lineage is still waiting for you to hear them, still trying to send you one last message. This message may hold the key to returning to yourself. If this resonates with you, you may leave a gentle comment, symbolizing the opening of your heart. I open myself to receive the blessings of my ancestors. Sometimes, that one sentence is the signal heaven has been waiting for to begin. A soul is calling your name from the other realm, and the gift they left behind can only be opened with love. Some connections never fade, even if the physical body has departed. Invisible threads still tremble between life and death, waiting for a soul still enough to listen. Dear Cancer, there is a soul, someone you love, deeply whispering your name, not to cause you pain again, but to help you feel light and live fully for the first time. You have always carried sadness, even when it wasn't yours. You have held on to memories that brought you tears in the stillness of night. You have gathered the faults of others as if to shield them, even after they have gone. But this time, they do not wish for you to carry that burden any longer. They want to be the ones to heal you. In ancestral reverence traditions, this is known as a blessing from those who came before. Souls, once entangled in karma with us, can become silent guides for our awakening after death. In Christianity, it is said that those who have died in the Lord still live and may still love us with eternal love. Death is not a separation. It is merely a thin veil between two worlds. When a heart continues to love, it can pierce through every layer to reach you. A Cancer viewer once shared with me, "I dream of my mother every month, but she never speaks. She just stands there, looking at me, then disappears." She held this in her heart for over 7 years, and each awakening brought a quiet ache. One night, unable to bear it any longer, She lit a candle and for the first time prayed for her. Mom, if there's anything you haven't let go of, I'm ready to listen. The next night, the dream returned, but this time, her mother smiled, walked toward her, placed a hand on her shoulder, and said, "It's time for you to live for yourself." Then she turned away, as light as the wind, and for the first time in years, she woke up without tears. Cancer. If you have ever dreamed of someone who has passed, if you have ever sensed the familiar scent of an old family recipe, felt a cold breeze on your cheek, or sensed a presence behind you in perfect silence, it may not be your imagination. It could be them still here, still watching over you. This time, they are not here to reopen old wounds. They are here to offer a gentle goodbye, one that neither of you had the chance to express. Those who have departed do not wish for you to live in regret. They do not want you to carry their burdens. They want you to transform their love into freedom for yourself, the freedom to move forward, to open your heart to new possibilities, and to forgive yourself for living too long in the shadow of someone who is gone. You do not need to cling to past mistakes as if they are obligations. No one who truly loves you would want your soul shackled to pain forever. The one who loves you desires your peace, wants to see you smile from within, and wishes for you to live the rest of your days without searching for their ghost in the past. Take a moment to close your eyes. If your heart suddenly stills, if a gentle warmth spreads through your chest, it may be them, the soul you thought had vanished, now present like a breath. No words are needed, only your feelings. For true love exists beyond form. If you truly hear them, please live the rest of your life as a thank you, as a way of saying, "I'm okay now, and I will live for both myself and for you." If this message touched you, gently write down, "I live for me and for those who are no longer here." Sometimes, simply voicing it is enough to liberate your soul from holding on to what no longer belongs in your present. Thank you for listening and for allowing your heart to soften once more in a world so accustomed to hardness. May you, gentle Cancer, always possess enough love to forgive the past, enough courage to love yourself, and enough stillness to hear the sacred call of what you thought was lost. Remember, nothing is ever truly lost. It is merely waiting for you to listen in a different way.